Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mohan. As you know, I have already uploaded two videos for the course. Now today I will be teaching you the basics of Unity, which is how making a new portfolio, or you can access your access your old project. Anything will work if somebody who is pretty much new and who wants to who don't know about Unity Hub. So here, this is Unity Hub, and I already explained it in previous videos that I about how to install it and install the editor. Here I also here I will tell you one more time how to install the Unity editor. Here, once you install it, they hit, they will ask few questions. Please once install it these things: universal windows, web build. Web build can be optional because I am making port games for my portfolio. So I have web build, and another one is window build is build. Then that's documentation. Now we return to the project. Uh, for some of you, it will be pretty blank. Here in new project, select Universal 3D. There are a lot of options you can go with. You can have a start with get a start with Unity, high definition 3D. 3D render pipeline will be deliberated. Unu will become useless through, during the update of the editor. So I will recommend not to use the simple built-in render pipeline for both 3D and 2D. If you want to use Universal 3D or Universal 2D. For those who want to make a realistic game, go with high definition 3D. And other stuffs are for learning, so essential path, 3D sample, 3D universal 3D sample, industrial fundamental, mixed reality VR. There are a lot of them. But for this course, just select universal 3D and rename the project. Then go, if you want to change the location, go to here and select whatever you want, the location. So let us go to, I already opened the project. So here, this is how Unity editor looks, and I have set it up a basic basic setup for the Unity. This here I already explained it before, but small recap. This is a scene where the developer edits everything. This is hierarchy. Every game object is in display with displayed here. Projects settings, we project for the project hierarchy, we put all our assets here. This is the game where the camera shows the player, play, shows everything about the game. Then here comes the inspector. Selected game object have will be shown in the inspector. That's all. Uh, in this project, I want to make a few things here. Make a ground. There will be a camera, direct light, and global volume by default. Add a ground where the player can stand. then make the player stand. I used capsule. Then it should make sure it should have mesh filter, mesh renderer, caps, capsule collider, and a rigid body. If you don't see these things, you can just add component. Under physics. There are two type of physics. One is for 2D, one is for 3D. Make sure you choose 3D one physics, and you can choose for with those which it doesn't have. Uh, for example, if it doesn't have capsule collider, use capsule collider and rigid body. Then comes uh, these both are the scripts I personally created, but I will not talk about interaction controller right now. Right, and before that, let us set it up a new input system. If you don't have input system, you can click here. There is a package manager. Just click. It will open. It will take few time to refresh all the list. Once it once it has done, just uh, tell him new input system. Click on it, and here I don't have input uh, download. Download it, and another thing is Cinemation. These two things, make sure you have installed in your package, Unity package. Now, after that, once you download it, in your folder, left click, create, and here input action. You Once you create the input action, here it will look like this. Rename it player controller. In the inspector, there are few options. One is always generate C# class. Take check it. Then the file name, class C# class file, which means the location. You can make it a default, or you can choose where it should be saved. Then it will always have default name and default namespace. And click apply. Af- After that doing, once you double click it, it will open an floating tab which says player controller input action. uh, Editor. Once you enter here, this is what look like. First we have action map. For you all, it will be pretty much empty. You need to create by pressing plus and rename it to player controller. Once it's done, select it, and it will show the actions. Then in actions, it will have one action and one binding. So rename that action as move, and once you select the action, it will show its action property. In action property, in action type will be by default button. We just need to drop down and make it a value. Then control type to vector 2. Once it is done, add a plus and add up, down, left, right composite. So you will have this thing as 2D vector, where you need to give the binding for up, for down, for left, for right, like this. You you click on up, down, uh, on path drop menu. You can listen, or you can search, or you can just click by like this. Like if you write W, it will give you plenty of. options. And this one is the left stick of the gamepad. It's pretty simple. You go to the gamepad and left stick. Similar with jump and look. For look, it will be pretty similar with like move, move action. Only thing is we will be making it a delta. Drop down, mouse, and there you go delta. That's all. That's all for now. Let's go to the play third person controller. I have created third person controller. You can name it anything, but name conventions are very important. Make sure you have a proper naming convention to every script. Once open, you will see a pretty much coded and implemented code. Here there is few things from here to here. Ignore the interaction controller. I will teach it you in further classes. Right now, here I have movement. Under movement, I have move speed, rotation speed, and jump force. For the reference, I have camera reference. Then I have rigid body as RB and player controller as controls. Then I have input vector 2 and a boolean flag for jump pressed and another boolean for to check whether the player is standing on the ground. Then we come to awake. Awake we have pretty much this much code. Just ignore the first line of the awake. And on the second code, it is RB equals to get component of rigid body. This thing means we it will search here. These are all components. Transform is a permanent component. Capsule is a component which is allotted to show whether the mesh is a capsule or a sphere or a cube or something else. Or it can be a custom mesh tool which you will be downloading from the Unity asset store. Another, these are all components: mesh, render, it have material, lighting effect. You can just close, make it off, or make it shadow and everything. Then we have capsule collider, and inside capsule collider we have is trigger, uh, uh, true and false, boolean. Whether we if we check it out, it will become a capsule or trigger, not a collider. For collider, it should be false, and this is the uh, component which RB will get once this code enters. Get component rigid body. Ground layer, we have we get the layer ground and platform. Controls, new player controller. It, now the controller has the new input system we created as player controller. Then controls dot player control dot move dot perform. That means here player controller con- controls means the input system action dot player controller dot move dot perform. That means it will this will be activated. Plus ctx equals to move input equals to ctx dot read value vector 2. That means it will read the value of vector 2 directly from the WASD keyboard. The same thing we need to cancel it down once we leave the hand from the keyboard. Then we perform jump. Then we comes to on enable. Before, if we don't use enable disable, the input will not work. For input to work, we need to put under the code on enable. These are by default Unity codes. Here I'll show you some other methods related to Unity. These once we press Control Shift N, the Unity implementation floating window will pop up, and here we will see a lot of stuff like collision, reduction, trigger, draw gizmo selected, mouse down, mouse drag, mouse enter, exit, a lot of stuff. Even start, restart. Those which are used will not be shown. Though those which are not used will be shown under here. So this one is for enable. This one is for disable. Enable works when you click play it, and it activates awake method first, then on enable method, then start method. This is the procedure it follows Unity. On disable, the similar. Once you make exit the game, when you press play and exit the play, stop the play. After stop, there is a little after few seconds on disable works. So on fixed, there is three type of fixed method. I used all fixed update, update, and late update. Update means it updates per frame. Fixed update updates few frame, and late update means, as the word itself says, it updates pretty late. It most of the stuff game is followed on update, but few things like which related to gravity or any other physics calculation, mathematical calculation are done under fixed update. Then this is the custom method I created. Try as well as one suggestion is, don't put everything under one method. Try to have multiple method according to the script. If the script contains player controller, try to have uh, separate methods like this, because the move should come under fixed update instead of just make. Right now I can put everything under fixed update, it will work fine. In future, once I update a lot of stuff and enter lot more line of code, maybe there will be a time it will be little bit hectic for me uh, to where figure it out how to debug those things. So that's why, like, for move I have a separate method. For jump I have separate method. To check ground I have a separate method. Even to interact I have a separate method. So that's why my suggestion is uh, to separate all the stuff. Let's back to the move. The in under move, uh, we take we are taking camera movement. So camera. it will be like camera movement equals to scale, and and it it will take the forward movement and new vectors y and z axis value and make it normalized. We use normalize that to have positive, always have a positive value. Then comes the move direction. We will calculate two things. One is for from the camera movement. I will We will take move input y and camera movement plus camera transform dot right into move into x. So it will, because the mouse direction is opposite to, is inversely inverse to the direction. So we change the value of x axis and y axis. Then comes direction. Direction should always positive. So point 1 f. For rotation we used quaternion rotation. Uh, then for the transform rotation of the player we used quaternion and slope. Slope, that is, this is the slope use rotation value which has angular difference in them, and loop uses vector difference. And this is for the moment, and this is for the this one is when whether player is not moving. For the jump, we simply added vector up into jump force and force mode dot impulse. Then we are checking ground by is grounded. I already show you, I made a flag. It will the physics see that's what the physics hits here. That's why we will be using those into fixed update. Physics not raycast. Tra- transform dot position. Transform dot position will, in every object there is a center pivot point. It, say in point have three zeros. X Y Z has three zeros. Even you place it in the world anywhere, the pivot point will local pivot point have 0 0 0. So if the pivot point is on the foot, it will not release the raycast towards the downwards. So we will not find the ground layer or the platform. It will always be false. So we pushed up a little by point 1. So with some height, we can measure whether the player is standing on the ground or the platform. After that, now you can see. And I have already implemented Cinemachine as I requested. I have selected player, add component, Cinemachine. Here. Oh, sorry, it's GameObject, Cinemachine, and targeted camera, free look camera. Once you selected, you you do and you don't need to do anything else here. Once you selected, you just need to allow the player transform into the free look camera. Once, uh, once you play, how it works. This is how it works. And make sure you make a layer. You add layer, add platform and ground. By default, they don't have ground and platform. And if you feel the player is awkward, you can just come under rigid body, under constraint. There is freeze rotation. You freeze on x-axis and z-axis. It will be it after that it will look like the game itself. So thank you for watching. I it will be I will be very much happy for if you subscribe and comment down, and at the same time try to figure it out interaction system as well. See you in next video.